making a presentation of the data we collected from our survey, and then we later analyzed that data. So, no individual skill or task in this lesson is new. We're going to really be combining a lot of old skills together, but I want to show you what the expectation is for the end product that you're going to be making. All right, so this is I start off with a new Google slide, and you'll want to do the same. I do want to show you the assignment details here. So here's the assignment details. It says you need a title slide, 2 slides called methods, and we're going to go through exactly what's on those. Several slides that are all about the results, so the data that came from your results, and then you need some discussion and conclusion slides. And all the points are listed there. Some additional things you're going to need is you're going to have to include, you're going to have to make your presentation neat. It needs to look organized, use a theme, no typos, easy to follow. That's going to give you some points. You're going to use some images to make it, a little bit nicer looking. Use some animations, minimum of 11 slides. We will have an optional bonus point option if you want to actually try to make a presentation of your slides that you make. So we have the data, and here's a sample set of data. Here I've just shown 4 questions because that's all you need is 4 of your 10 questions that you used. So here's 4 of my 10 questions. Here's the statistics, and here's some of the graphs we've made. Okay, so after your title slide, we're going to have a slide called methods. And methods are how we did our research, and we did survey questions. So I've put the 4 survey questions that I'm going to be using here, and you will notice that I have, for these, animated them. So each of them is going to come in one at a time. Terrific. I also have a second methods slide that's all about the participants. Who were the people who were asked these questions? So I described it as the 7th grade students in my class, and there was, for me, 10. Of course, you'd want to make that accurate to however many answered your survey. Okay, now we're going to get into results. So first I'm just going to look at the one question. So the one question was, how many hours a week do you stream TV? And these were my findings. I just typed these. I looked over at my survey data. I can see, okay, 6, median 6, mean 6 mode, and the range and the interquartile range. So I just typed those numbers here on this slide. And again, these are animated, so each of these come in. Now, because this slide is going to be very similar to the next slide, I duplicated it. So slides 4, 5, 6, and 7, I just duplicated and I changed the data on each of them. So here I changed the question at the top, I put a new picture in there, and I typed in the new mean, median, mode range, interquartile range. So that'll save you some time. You won't have to add the animations. You won't have to type, the labels of the data. You just have to change the numbers over there. So you want to change all of those for 4 questions, so that's 4 slides where you share that information. Then another result is going to be one of your scatter plots. So this one was the streaming versus the phone hours. So I graphed this. I talk about here, I can see streaming on the bottom, phone hours over on this side. Great. Another scatter plot on the next slide. It's phone use this time, but now with social media posts. Terrific. All right, well, we have all this data. What could we learn, or what could we make a conclusion about? Well, the students who spent more time streaming TV also tended to spend more time on their phones. That was kind of from this first scatter plot. We see it going up like that. Terrific. And the amount of social media posts that students made in a week was the most variable. What do I mean by that? So if I look over here, look at that interquartile range. Look at the range. Those are the biggest numbers compared to any of the other data sets, any of the other questions. All of those were much lower than the social media one. So that was, people were the most different on that measure. So that was another one of my conclusions. Some extra conclusions. Students who spent more time on their phone tended to be more likely to post on social media. That's our second graph. Here, as we see more time on the phone, more posts going up. Kind of makes sense in general. Hours of reading had the lowest average, and students were fairly similar to each other on this measure. So if we go back to our reading slide, we can see low averages there, and the range was only, the interquartile range was only 1. So people were pretty close together on that. So not a lot of range there. So now let me go ahead and actually present this so you can see what it looks like start to finish. Okay, there's my opening slide. Okay, and if I click, oh, there's one bullet came in, my animations are working, and there's my 4th point. Next one. Okay, there's the participants. Great. How many hours do you stream a week? All right, I can go through and talk about each one of these data values, and I can repeat this for each of my questions. Terrific. And my last question. I've got this graph. I've got this graph. I've got 2 conclusions here and 2 conclusions here. You actually only require to make 2 conclusions total, so I actually have some extra conclusions in there. And that is all we're looking for a project here on presenting your conclusions from the data that you collected in your survey. Thanks so much, and hope you enjoyed this video.